everyone, Justine Lindsay here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I help awakened, sensitive, and empathic souls intuitively navigate this crazy world. One of the ways I do that is I put out a weekly reading for the collective consciousness. Each different slot here, I already picked the cards, mean a different thing for the week. I'd love to just jump right in. I think you guys have seen the pattern and have seen my previous videos and understand how it works. So I'll go ahead and jump right into it and show you the card as well as I read, okay? All right, so the first one is strengths, right? Is always the first thing, starting out on a positive note. Okay, so basically we have overcoming difficulties. The worst is now behind you and you're surmounting any previous challenges. Okay, so this week seems really great when it comes to things being more in flow, things being more smooth. Things really kind of going in your favor almost. So it almost feels like, I didn't really kind of get anything along the lines of we were having a difficult week for the last couple of weeks actually. So this is pointing to that this is something that has been long standing, and this is something that has been going on for you for a long time, this particular difficult period. So it's so important that you really acknowledge how far you've actually come this week with overcoming really challenging obstacles. And basically what's happening here is that the angels are really trying to come through and make sure that you make sure that you celebrate your wins and you really acknowledge yourself this week. It should be a week of celebration. Celebrating any personal victories, no matter the size, big or small. But again, it feels like something really big. So take the time to really acknowledge how far that you've come, all of the healing work that you've done, and really kind of getting yourself through the storm. So this already starting to feel like a really great positive week. Okay. And then I have to kill that by moving on to what's our weakness for this week. Okay, so not bad, right? Like I said, not super negative. It already feels like it's going to be a really great week, but we have crystal clear intentions, and we have Archangel Michael coming through. So basically what's coming through with this crystal clear intentions is that our weakness this week is a little bit of lack of clarity, which is interesting because I've been feeling this energy of people getting a lot more clear, at least for myself as well. So this week, that's a little surprising for me that's actually going to still be a thing, kind of, where I'm not super clear. But I feel, like I said, it feels like we're getting more clear and more clarity around life purpose, the house, where we want to see ourselves in 5 years, the future, all of that stuff. So we're really doing well, but this week it just feels like, and we might be grasping at straws too, right? Because it's supposed to be a really positive and good week. So maybe we are grasping at straws, right? But so if this is the worst thing that's happening to us this week, that's like a really good thing, right? Is that we're just a little bit confused. But hopefully the following week we'll have a lot more clarity when it comes to whatever we're confused about this week. But again, I definitely feel like we have done the work as far as becoming more clear. There's just some tweaks that need to be made. And this week seems like it may get you down a little bit, but don't worry. Usually things always make sense in the end. Obviously hire a reader, an intuitive reader, me if you want, to really help you with that extra clarity and actually push you to a place of more decisiveness, basically. So watch out for that this week. Okay, one of my favorites, romantic. Okay, peace. Yay. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Oh my gosh, yes. This is like the fundamentals of spirituality, guys. It's either we're choosing fear or we're choosing love. But right now, in our romantic relationships, we're choosing peace, which is really, really great, which means that it's a very, how do I say this? It's a very, I guess I want to say joyful. I want to say joyful, peaceful. I almost want to say neutral or content. So why I'm saying that is because it doesn't feel like, it definitely feels high vibrational, but also it doesn't feel like anything negative. It feels like we really are finding peace within our relationship. So if you've been fighting with people, with your significant other, this week seems like that is going to be squashed. If you've taken a break from somebody or separated with somebody, it looks like this week will be a lot of souls coming together. But it really just feels like nothing. There's kind of like nothing going on, and that is a good thing, right? Contentment. Well, it's not super positive, right? Because we don't want our contentment to keep our contentedness. We don't want it to keep us stuck, right? We have to obviously elevate, and we definitely have to push ourselves, get out of our comfort zone, all that good stuff. But this week, totally fine that things are neutral, things are content, things are peaceful. Enjoy the week, basically, the angels are saying. So I see that as a positive. Okay, personally, clear your space. Ooh, I love this one. Okay, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. Okay, so this is actually, so in the personal section, so this means that it's so important for you to clear the space. Now, this is a good week to, I'm getting the message saying like, clear out some stuff, and it makes a lot of sense, right? We just had daylight savings. So we're preparing for a new season, right? So clear your stuff, do a spring cleaning if you can, make sure things are not cluttered, maybe hire somebody professionally to clean your apartment, or something like that. Someone to, if you have a yard. I'm in New York City. I do not have a yard. I don't know. So get your pool ready, something like that. It almost just feels like it's important to like start preparing for the next season, but also making sure that what doesn't serve you anymore does not come with you into the next season. So make sure that we're letting go of what doesn't serve us anymore in our personal space. The other message that I'm coming through with is if you have to stay with someone this week, like if you're visiting someone, like I'm getting a message, like if you're visiting someone, like make sure the vibe is okay, like make sure the energy is okay. And why I think this is coming up is because right now this is a very interesting time in history where coronavirus is definitely something that's freaking everybody out. So it almost kind of feels like I'm getting like a message to like not have anybody in your space, basically. Like if you have somebody staying with you, or you have plans to stay with somebody, for example, this week, or spend a significant time at somebody else's home, I would not do that. I would try to refrain from that and kind of, I don't want to say be in isolation. I almost kind of feel like pay attention to your energy for this week, especially in your sanctuary. And I use the word sanctuary because that could mean your room, your home, where you feel most stable and secure. And that's really, I know Archangel Jophiel is on this card, but really what's also coming through is like Archangel Michael, which was on this other card over here about the intentions, is that's about security and safety. So it's all pointing to like your home area. So pay attention to clutter, pay attention to cleaning your place, cleaning out what no longer serves you, maybe rearranging your place, and also who is in your actual space, who is in your actual sanctuary, that kind of thing. Okay, work-wise, courage. We have Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs, courage. Okay, so what's coming through here, guys, is that as a collective consciousness, we need to start sticking up for ourselves more. And basically the message is if we don't stick up for ourselves, we're going to keep building. So when we don't express our truth or stick up for ourselves and speak out, we're ending up suppressing a lot of truths and a lot of feelings about a lot of different things. And this is in the work category, so it could be about work. So you can be seeing something that's unethical, or something that doesn't really jive with you, like that kind of thing. Coming up, but like you haven't said anything about it. This week is a good week to start vocalizing your concerns without judgment. And what I mean by that is that this week energetically it lines up where it seems pretty receptive for you. Like I feel like a really good positive outcome happening from this. So it's so important that you spend this week figuring out what it is that you need to express, and also how to express it. Again, it feels like it would be a very good positive outcome that comes from this. So this is definitely the week to do it. it feels like it's been building up for a really, really long time. It's kind of like the same energy I got behind this overcoming difficulties card, where it's kind of like something that has been building up for a long time that just really does not jive with you at all. And this is obviously talking about work stuff. So it's important that we speak up, guys. I know, I am the first person to tell you that, I have my own money issues, right? And why I'm saying this is because I just don't want you guys to be afraid as a collective consciousness to really speak up about things at work in fear of like being fired or let go or something along those lines, because those are really real fears. And I'm not trying to say that they don't exist and they're not valid, because they are. And I totally get that. But it's so important for you to take the next step and really vocalize that. Again, I feel really positive outcome for you. So keep that in mind and really kind of keep the faith and understand that you have a choice for everything that you do, and that personal empowerment is kind of stifled here. So it's so important that you get a little bit back of your personal empowerment by really speaking up this week. All right, hopefully that was helpful, guys. Okay, clarity. What do we need extra clarity about this week? All right, so this kind of ties into everything. You are safe, right? So we have Archangel Michael coming through again, right? So what do we need extra clarity on? There's a lot of doubt this week, it seems, that we are not safe. And that could be, again, stuff that's tied to work. But it could also be about, our romantic relationships look good this week. It could also be about our personal space, like I mentioned before. In your personal life, and it could definitely mean something along the lines of your friendships. And what I mean by that is that, like, what's coming through is like you don't feel safe in your relationships for some reason, and I mean friendships. You don't feel really safe to express yourself in those friendships. It feels like there will be transformation this week about that, where you really, it's either a perspective shift, or it's either like a perception, being able to see a different perspective, like I said, around this, or something has changed. Like something will change this week pertaining to that, basically, about how you relate to your friendships. And this isn't, I don't mean to scare you, but this could be a positive or a negative thing, right? For example, you could start figuring out this week that you don't feel safe with some people in friendships, and you could let go of those friendships. Another one you can, it could be the opposite, right? Is that like you realize that you do feel safest around your friendships, and it's important that you make it a priority in your life to connect with these people. It's important. So that might be something that's shifting for you this week for sure. Okay. See, it isn't always negative, basically. And like I said, it definitely feels like a more positive week, and that's why I'm feeling like the outcomes of all of this is definitely going to be more positive than usual. All right, so what is this one? This one is guidance. What do we need extra guidance on this week? What can we work on? Compassion. Guys, again, this is actually, how do I say this? This is moving into... This is moving into work stuff again. I know it's not in the work slot, but it's definitely coming up as far as like, how could we have compassion for people at work, or how could we have more compassion in the workplace? If we are entrepreneurs, how could we have more compassion for our clients, for example? But basically, it's about bringing in compassion, and it feels more work-wise. Of course, we can definitely take this lesson and move it into our personal relationships and things like that, and especially because we're working on and having a perspective shift with our personal relationships, clearing space, letting go of things that no longer serve us anymore. So it's important that we do it all with love, and that also means doing it with compassion, right? It's everything that it encompasses the feminine energy and high vibrational feelings. So we definitely do want to go in that direction. So really try to have and cultivate compassion this week, again, for some of the changes that are happening here, and also work-wise. Okay, so the last one is, what kind of healings do we need this week? What should we also work on as far as that goes? Gifts from God. This is so important because this is really pointing to, and it's like purplish in color, right? And that usually means third eye, right? So basically what's coming through is that we need a lot more healing around our intuitive gifts and our intuition. And that really kind of means that we're not using it enough. We really need to be a little bit more heavily dominated when it comes to this week, at least, more into our intuition, really making decisions that are not necessarily from our head, but they're really from our heart and soul, our intuition, right? Which, guys, I'm going to be putting out a course soon, but I really want everybody to empower themselves and really be familiar with their intuition, that it's like a it becomes more powerful than your thoughts, to be honest, which is where I feel like I'm at. Which is a good thing, right? And we really kind of need to focus on that. This is also telling me sharpening your intuition this week will definitely bring a better week next week. Not to say that this is a terrible week. Like I said, it's actually pretty positive. I've said that already, but it almost feels like not, maybe I won't say a better week next week, but almost like a more intuitive, like feeling like you guys are putting yourself more in the flow. Like, I actually believe by the weekend you're going to be in more of a flow than you've been in a really long time, and it's going to feel really, really good. And it almost feels like, clearing out the space, clearing out what doesn't serve you anymore, lots of peace in your romantic relationships, the acknowledgement that you have overcome so many, not so many, it actually feels like one particular thing, one difficulty, one obstacle. So it feels like a celebration week for sure, but it also feels like we're setting ourselves more up for the flow. And you know what the flow means, guys? That means a place of empowerment, and that means a place of manifestation. So you can actually manifest in this particular flow. In my personal opinion, that's the only way you can do it. So, okay, anyway, guys, hopefully this was helpful. Again, love and light to you for anybody that is going through any work situation that is not exactly the greatest, and it makes you uncomfortable. I've been there before. Light and love to you. I feel the outcome to be really, really positive for you. So definitely take the leap, have faith. And again, very, I almost want to say boring week because everything seems like pretty smooth, right? Even if we decide that we have to let go of some friendships, which we got in this slot right here, that's totally fine, okay? Because this is almost like of course everything is kind of meant to be. Everything is connected, right? Everything happens for a reason. Everything is divine timing, right? But this is almost like I don't feel that anybody would be upset, even though ending a friendship is upset, but it's almost like this friendship is at the point where it's like hasn't even started or is so over. So it's not like you're being pulled out from like your best friend who you're like super close with, you just talked to today for like 5 separate times. It's not like that. It almost feels like it's like natural, like it's organic, right? And when things just fall off naturally, it tends to be a little bit better and a little bit easier on us emotionally and spiritually, than having that real attachment, right? That real attachment. Okay, cool. All right, awesome, guys. I hope this was helpful for you this week. I will put out next week's video as well, next weekend. And if you guys like this type of content, you want to see weekly videos like this, please subscribe, I think, over here. Hit the subscribe button, and if this resonates with you, please put it any questions, comments, concerns in the comments section below. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye.